From Astoria to the Rockaways, it's time for the Queen's New Yorker. And here is the man giving you all the info, your uber snazzy and jazzy host, Mr. Jason D'Antonio.
Thank you, Jason Kelly. And good afternoon, everybody. Oh, wow. And welcome to another edition of the Queen's New Yorker. Right here on YouTube and Mixcloud. That used to be Mixcloud. Now is basically Instagram, if we can get the darn thing working. Another edition here. Episode 49 is upon us. And for that, give yourself another round of applause. Yeah. Oh, you're too kind. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's give it up for Jason Kelly. And you guys make this possible, so give yourself all the credit. Yes, you are just too kind. Thank you so much for joining us here on the show. We hope you enjoyed episode 48 because, well, it got a lot of views. Let's take a look at our dashboard, mind you. That's where all the good stuff is. We'll go over to our creator studio, tell you what's going on. Right now, currently, as of today, we have 266 subscribers, and we're growing so fast by leaps and bounds. A grand total of 1,747 views. Ooh, that's total views. The watch time from the end of last month to this month jumped 600 hours. We had 1,259 in December. You guys have zapped it up to 1,829 minutes. Oh, you guys are incredible. Thank you so much for the support. Episode 48 got 35 views, 21 comments, which I am so proud of you for commenting, leaving positive feedback. Beautiful. Keep it going. And it got 12 likes and no dislikes. That's 2 weeks straight with no dislikes. Beautiful. Great job. You guys are doing fantastic. So this is episode 49. And this episode is going to round out the remaining three neighborhoods of the Rockaways. We have Rockaway Park, Roxbury, and Seaside. With the remaining time, we'll also give you a little bit of a history of three major things that are very essential to the Rockaways. That is Rockaway Beach Boulevard, the Rockaway Freeway, and Shorefront Parkway. That's later on in the program. But first, let's go ahead and talk about Rockaway Park. This is a big thing here. Rockaway Park is a neighborhood in the borough. The area is on the Rockaway Peninsula, nestled between Jamaica Bay to the north and the Atlantic Ocean to the south. The neighborhood of Rockaway Beach lies on its eastern border, while the community of Bell Harbor is situated on its western side. The neighborhood is part of Queens Community Board 14. The heavily Irish Rockaway Park has been called the Irish Riviera. The 2000 United States Census showed that 36% of the population were of Irish ancestry in the ZCTA for zip code 11694. The St. Patrick's Day Parade in Rockaway is the second largest St. Patrick's Day Parade in New York City, second only to New York City's St. Patrick's Day Parade up Fifth Avenue in Manhattan. The neighborhood is centered around Beach 116th Street, a two-block street that runs from Beach Channel Drive southward to Ocean Promenade. At the street's northern end is Tribute Park, which has a memorial to the 343 firefighters killed in the September 11th terrorist attacks. And it is at its southern tip is a memorial for the 265 victims of American Airlines Flight 587, which crashed nearby on November 12th, 2011. And that's Rockaway Park. Now let's look at Roxbury. Very short brief here. Roxbury is a community on the peninsula. The neighborhood is just west of the Marine Parkway, Gil Hodges Memorial Bridge, and adjoins Fort Tilton. It is an in-holding within the borders of the Breezy Point unit of Gateway National Recreation Area of the U.S. National Park System. Roxbury is part of the Breezy Point Cooperative, which is a private property owning corporation of residents. And that's Roxbury. And finally, the final town in the Rockaways is Seaside. Now, Seaside is a section of the peninsula. It's bordered by the Rockaway Beach neighborhood on the east and by the neighborhood of Rockaway Park on the west. Formerly a resort community of small seasonal bungalows, Seaside is today dominated by middle-income high-rise Mitchell-Lama apartment buildings along its South Shore beachfront. The zip code of Seaside is 11694. The main roads through Seaside are Rockaway Beach Boulevard, Rockaway Freeway, and the never-finished Shorefront Parkway. The southern end of the Cross Bay Veterans Memorial Bridge can be found between Seaside and Rockaway Park. Seaside contains New York City subway stations of the IND Rockaway line, the A and the S trains at Beach 105th and Beach 98th Streets, respectively. And that is Seaside. Now, let's look at three important areas or aspects of Seaside. We'll look at Rockaway Beach Boulevard. This boulevard opened in 1886 and was the first major east-west thoroughfare on the Rockaway Peninsula. Much of its route parallels the Rockaway Freeway and the IND Rockaway line above the freeway. The boulevard first forks off at its eastern end from Beach Channel Drive at Beach 35th Street in Edgemere and merges once again with Beach Channel Drive by Jacob Riis Park shortly before the Marine Parkway Gil Hodges Memorial Bridge. Rather curiously, the boulevard runs north of the freeway from its eastern end, while Edgemere Avenue runs exactly south of the freeway until Beach 56th Street in Auvergne, where the northern flank becomes Auvergne Boulevard and Edgemere Avenue abruptly turns into Rockaway Beach Boulevard for the remainder of its run. And while the boulevard served as the heart of its bustling business and entertainment district in the heart of the Rockaway Beach neighborhood, which included numerous hotels and amusement attractions, including the famous Rockaway's Playland, it was found that its original width could barely cope with its expanding traffic in its heyday. Much of the area in Auvergne served by Rockaway Beach Boulevard was leveled through abortive urban renewal efforts in the 1960s. Now, the Rockaway Freeway is a road in the borough that was created from the old right-of-way of the Long Island Railroad Rockaway Division in 1941 to 1942 as part of the project to eliminate grade crossings within New York City. The railroad line itself was elevated over the new automotive route and was incorporated into the New York City subway system as the IND Rockaway Line A train in the summer of 1956. Because of the large number of concrete posts supporting the elevated subway, the freeway has consistently been hazardous for drivers. However, one stretch of the freeway between Beach 73rd Street and Beach 87th Street in Hamels is difficult for drivers going in an easterly or westerly direction to avoid without going out of their way. A portion of the road between Beach 67th and Beach 73rd Street was closed permanently in 2005 to make way for a retail transit plaza in connection with the new Auvergne by the Sea construction development. And finally, Shorefront Parkway is a two-lane beachfront road paralleling the boardwalk in Rockaway Beach, running between Beach 73rd Street and Beach 108th Street. The Parkway was opened in 1939 under the direction of course, Robert Moses, who you will hear that name very familiarly around here on the show, who was the Commissioner of Parks of New York City at the time. Often called the Road to Nowhere by Rockaway residents because its termini does not access any well-traveled locations, Shorefront Parkway was intended by Moses as a link in a never-completed grand shorefront drive extending from Brooklyn to the Hamptons. This project of Moses was permanently thwarted in the 60s when the National Park Service gained control of the bulk of Fire Island in Suffolk County and an essential link in the proposed highway and decreed that it remain a permanently roadless national seashore. Construction of the parkway entailed total or partial demolition of many private residences and thriving beachfront businesses and attractions, particularly Rockaway's Playland. The Rockaway's Playland amusement park suffered permanent truncation to make way for the road. Moses often called amusement parks mechanical gadget lands and was known to despise them. Even today, despite its width, the parkway yields relatively little vehicle use. Shorefront Parkway has been changed to a two-lane road as a result of a cyclist mortality in an attempt to slow traffic down to a safer speed. A bike lane converted from a path with a wall on one side is on the eastbound beach side of the parkway, passing some old bus shelters. In July of 2007, the New York City Department of Transportation announced that it will extend Shorefront Parkway through Beach 67th Street, where it will intersect with Rockaway Beach Boulevard, and this extension will be called Beachfront Road. Ultimately, Beachfront Road will continue through Beach 60th Street. And there you have it, folks. Shorefront Parkway in all of its glory. Well, folks, that does wrap up the Rockaways and all of the historic neighborhoods of Queens. Now, to tell you what's going to be going on next time when we meet for another great edition of our show, from here on out, since we have given you the history of our neighborhoods, we are now going to take a piece of that neighborhood and break it down even more. Remember when we was talking about in the history parts sections of each neighborhood, there were specific things that that neighborhood has a connection with. So, when we meet up again, we will go back to Astoria and look at Astoria and look at the places of interest and the education, the notable people, pop culture. There's so many things in here that we can delve on. And we're going to take each neighborhood, break it down even more, and give you a in-depth look at all that that particular neighborhood has to offer. So if you ever wanted to, visit Queens and you've never been there, stay tuned because the next episodes are going to even scratch more of the surface. Remember I said this, we haven't even scratched the surface, but now the next episodes of our shows will take us to that level. And remember, at any given time, on any given video or show here or episode, you can comment and leave a great positive comment about how you like the show, what you'd like to hear or to see me cover. Please do leave a thumbs up because that tells me that we're on the right path here and that you like the show. If you gave me a thumbs down, please tell me why you gave me a thumbs down and maybe what you would like to see me cover. Remember, folks, we're going to take every neighborhood and cover it equally from left to right, top to bottom, up and down, you name it, east to west. Everything that neighborhood has to offer in some way, shape, or form. There's another episodes where we're going to be covering roads, cemeteries, bridges, tunnels, expressways, food. The Queens New Yorker will have an extended run. And as long as you have the support to give us here, we can do our job effectively. Now I want to mention 3 subscribers. And the reason being is because I want to give kudos to these subscribers because I feel that they need some help as well too. So let's see. One of the channels that recently subscribed since about a day ago was a channel called Kitty, Kitty, Kitty. Has 396 subs. They subscribed about a day ago. And I guess this channel has a lot to do with dancing. Most of their videos look like it's pretty much dancing girls. I can guarantee you it is definitely not a channel made for kids. So I would discretionize big time as for anyone under the age of 13. But it looks like it's doing pretty good for its viewership. Some of their videos are in the triple digits, some are in the double. But thank you, Kitty, for your subscription. And we mentioned you here on the Queens New Yorker. The next one I want to mention is Ash Cakes TV. They subscribed 2 days ago. They have 162 subs. They basically talk about mukbangs, eating. They sample a lot of good stuff. Each one of their videos, and they only have 6 or 5 videos. Only 5 videos, and they just started 3 weeks ago, but in that time frame, they have upped to 164 subscribers. And it looks like they're on the verge of taking their channel really nice. It's called Ash Cakes TV. We'll give you the links to these 3 channels. If you like mukbangs and you like to see people eat and sample different foods, I like to. I think it's fun. Then definitely check out Ash Cakes TV. And finally, Nino Sports. 2 days ago, he's got a running subscriber list of 519 subs. And it looks like he's covering gaming, sports, news, sporting highlights, and training. So I don't know if he's basically restricted on the child. Doesn't look like. There is content made for kids, so you can. Okay, so he is kind of doing for all ages, and his content's clean. And do check out his videos because he's got a lot. He sure does. But some will have good views, others not. It just depends on what kind of sports he's talking about. But he's got a shout out from me today. Nino Sports, 519 subs, looking for more. All right, that's going to do it for us today on our show. Thank you so much for joining me here. And remember, always, folks, be honest, be real, keep it simple, stupid, kiss. And always remember to tell the truth before you open your mouth with a lie. I'm Jason DeCanio. Have yourself a great day. We'll see you the next time on the Queens New Yorker, right here on YouTube. Bye-bye.
You have been watching the Queens New Yorker. This is Jason Kelly on a Jason DeCanio internet presentation. Thank you for your support.